Hello everybody, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith 779. Our puzzle solved, and I think we have maybe 6 more puzzles in the region we're in to get to a gold window, if my memory serves. Yeah, 6 more. So, let's see what we can do, shall we? There's a 5 there and a 6 there. 4, 5, 7. I think there's one hiding deep underneath. There's another 5 there. So there's lots of tough stuff to come. Let's investigate this guy for a bit then. Right. This has to either be part of a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4, just because of the confinement of this space. Which means this has to be a 5, a 6, a 7, or an 8. So that tells us something. This is the same in that it has to be a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4. Let's do that the same way. 1, 2, 3, or a 4. As does this. So this has to be a 5, a 6, a 7, or an 8. But this guy has to be a 6, a 7, an 8, or a 9. Now, some of those, 6, 7, 8, have overlap. So that could be the same region. Now, if this is a 1, a 2, or a 3, or a 4, this has to be a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 2. Do we just do this exercise for all of these tiles and then see where kind of the numbers match up best? I guess we can. If this is a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4, this has to be a 1, 2, a 3, a 4, or a 5. And this has to be a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Because it could be 3 minus 2 is... It could be a 1 as well. It could be 3 minus 2. Now this on a 1, 2, 3, 4 can only go up. So this has to be a 6, 7, 8, 9, as we saw over here. And 1 and 3... Well, 4 minus 3 is 1. Then 1 and 3 is 4, 5, 6. And this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4 for a 2, 3, 4, 5. But it could be a 3, so it's this again. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4. But 4 plus 4, 4 minus 4 is 0, which can't be. So this has to be a 5, 6, 7, 8. This has to be a 5, 6, 7, 8. And lastly, on the other side of a 2, we know has to be a 1, 2, 3, 4. Why did I get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 here? That's not right. This has to be 3 minus 2 is 1. 4 minus 2 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 2 is 5. 4 plus 2 is 6. Yeah, it's that. And this could be a inside over a 2. Can also be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's the whole exercise done. How does this help me? Well, let's look at where we might have the most limitations. This has to be a 6, 7, or an 8, or a 9. So that would mean that it could come out through here, but it can't come through there. And it could come through here as a 6. And in fact, it's going to have to go through one of these numbers as a 6. If it's a 6. But it can't be a 7. Because 7 can't get out of here. Right? So that tells me, I believe, that this tile has to be a 6. Am I getting that right? And if this has to be a 6, this would have to be a 1. So 1 plus 5 is 6. 1 plus 3 is 4. If this is going to be a 6, it's going to have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then plus or minus 1 on an end to make the 6. Right, let's do my... If I do that and that, if I start undoing and I see these disappear, that's the end of my save state. So... this is a 6, and this is a 1. The reason why we can't have this 6 as well is because this can't be a 1 plus 5 to make a 6, so the 6 can't go all the way around the corner. So then this is a 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 plus or minus 1 is a 3, 5. This 6 is either going to go to here or to here. That makes this 1 plus 3 is a 4. That 4 has to come down to here, and it can't go here or there. So that gets that gets that. I think. I'm hoping that what is there so far is correct. It feels good. So that means if this is going to be a 3 or a 5... Okay, whoa, okay. Before we get into that, we've decided that this is a 4 because it's 6 minus 2 and it can't be an 8. So that is a 4. Which means this is all, 4. Which means this is 4 plus 4 and 8. And it looks like this could be an 8. Like there's lots of room for that to potentially be an 8. I've got no problem with that. So this here can now only be a 2, 3, or a 4, which means 3 minus 2 is 1, 4 minus 2 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, no, yeah, 2 on the inside plus 2 is 4, we can't do a 3, and 3 plus 2 is 5, and 4 plus 2 is 6. So we've lost 3 as an option down here. Now, this has to get out, which I think means it has to be a 5 or a 6. So if this has to get out through there, then it has to be a 5 or a 6. Because those are the numbers that are shared. So this is a 5, 6. This is a 5, 6. 5, 6 minus 2 is a 3, 4. Can't be a 4 because there's not enough room, so this is a 3. Which means this is a 5. And this is a 5. And a 5 minus 4 is a 1. And a 1 plus 4 is a 5. This 5 then has to get out to here. 5 minus 2 is 3. That tracks. And this has to get out. If this is going to be a 5 and this 3, 5 has to get out, that's going to join there. God, it's all going so well, isn't it? That means that this is now trapped in. This has to be an 8. 8 minus 5 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 and 5 does that, which means this is going to be a 1, 3, because it's like this 1, 3, except backwards. Is this 8 left over? It is! Gosh. Who knew that putting in all the numbers to start with would be actually so helpful? Only took us 12 minutes, but that's fine. This is... oh, the big guy that my brain couldn't get earlier. 20 tiles. If there's 20 tiles in this stage, right? Let's do some math here. This has to be either a 110 or a 211 or something of that ilk, right? Or backwards. These could be flipped. That means that's the same thing is true of this transposes to this. Which means it's going to be something like... if this is 3, and this is 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. 3 plus 9 is 12. That can't work. My brain can't see the in on that. So we'll get there eventually. Maybe it'll be a victory lap puzzle. Who knows? Shall we try this 5? Gosh. Range 4 to 5. All shapes must be different. All regions must have different shapes and difference. All right, let's start with some notes, shall we? This region is 9. This region is 9. This region is 9. This region is 9. And this region is 9. If range is all 4 to 5, that means every region is going to be a 4 plus a 5. So that means this is a 4, 5, and this is a 4, 5, and this is a 4, 5, and this is a 4, 5. But those are different, whereas these are 4, 5s that are the same. This region has 3 leaps out. Does that tell me something? I think we can internalize well enough. that it's just 4 5s that have to exist, that we don't need to have quite as many notes all over the place all at once. But it's a difficulty 5 puzzle, which is interesting. Well, we can do some colouring, and not colour solving, but like starting with what we know, because we know it's range 4 to 5. So we know that's going to exist at least there, that's going to exist there, that's going to be that, 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 and that's going to be that. So all of that, at the very least, starts as true. Now where do we go from here? We need 5 4 ranges and 5 5 ranges. That means of the 5 times 4s, because every region is 9, we can't have a 4 4 and a 1. So we're going to have the square, the straight, the T, the Z, and the L. So those are the 5 4s that we're going to have somewhere amongst this puzzle. As for the 5s, there's lots more of those, so it's not worth denoting all of them. We just know they have to be different. So it then begs the question, which of these regions can have this guy in it? Because can't be this region, can't be this region, could be this region. That is one potential existence of a 4x4. Can't be this, can't be that, can't be there, can't be there, could be this region. And those are the only 2 places that this could exist. Okay. What about this guy? Well, it could be that. Can't be any of those. Can't be that. Can't be those. Could be this. Can't be that. So it's only those 2 areas that could be our 4s. Our long straight 4s. T-shapes, I imagine, are going to have a lot more variability on them. Could be this. Could be that. Could be either of these. Could be this. So T-shape seems a lot less useful to denote. Zs feel like they're going to be the most possibilities. So we're not going to note those in either. Ls. Well, it can't be this. It could be that. Could be that. Could be that. Could be that. So there's only 3 areas, I think, where we can fit an L in. Now, none of this is kind of giving me a really solid direction on where to go. We could pick one of these squares and just start solving the puzzle until we hit a dead end and then know that that was the wrong direction to go in, but it's not my favorite arc towards trying to be logical. The 4s that can fit in this center. Let's have a look at that real quick, because we can't do this. We could do a T. We can't do an L, because that breaks off edges. We can't do a 4 long. We can't even do a Z. So, the T shape has to be here in the center. Whether it's this one or this one, we're not yet sure. But it has to be one of those. Because there's no other 4, I think, that can fit in the center. We can't do a 2x2, it leaves edges. We can't do a 4 long, it won't fit. We can't do a Z, it leaves voids. We can't do a long piece, it leaves voids. So the T is either this or this. And we can kind of do a dotted line through that to say the T is at the very least somehow accounted for. Now, if this was a 4, that would mean one of these two is the 4, and then the 5 is going to be somewhere on the other side. If this is the 4, then what 4s could match? No, it would have to be a 5 that matches this one. So it could be that, except that would use the T twice, and we can't use the T twice. So it would have to be... This has to get out. Has to touch this. That would be that, I believe. If that was the T. That's the T, then that's the 5. Tell you what, let's get back to here and do my little sudo undo save state. So if this is the T, that's that. For a 5, that would have to be that. Then this would have to be a 4, which would either be this or this, which means that's going to be like that. It can't be that because that shape already exists. So that's that and that. This is a 5. Which means this has to be a different 5. And we get there. Nice. That didn't feel too bad. What else do we have? Are you done? You're done. Nothing in there, nothing in there. Are you done? You're done. 5, a 7. You're the one that my brain can't tick over. We're getting thinner for options, aren't we? 4 more still to do. You're done. I feel like there should be more puzzles left than there are, you know? Did we give an earnest try to this guy? Not yet. Okay, maximum 8. Interesting. Minimum can be anything. It can be tiny. But that means that this has to be a 1/8, and this has to be a 1/8. Now, we can't have... I mean, a 1 and a 1 could be a 2. That could be valid. But if a maximum of 8 and we have a 7, this has to be a 1/8 and a 1/8. 8 minus 7 is 1, or 1 plus 7 is 8. Now, how are we going to get this to go all the way around this circle? It's a great question. Well, let's do top left and bottom right. So if this is a 1, 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 minus 7 is 1. Is that right? If I just block color this in. Oh, how did I biff that so much in my head? 8 minus 7 is 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. Now, obviously, this is not correct, but it shows that a 1578 is valid. So I'm just going to write over here. It was a 7815. Now, can we do this backwards? This was a 18. 8 minus 4 is 4. 4 minus 2. 4 plus or minus 2 is a 26. A 2 minus 1 is 1. And this is valid as well. 1, 2, 4, 8. So that's a valid interpretation of that as well. 2148. So we can have a 2, 1, 4, 8, or a 7, 8, 5, 1. Well, we learned something from that exercise, but we didn't get anything concrete, unfortunately. Now, I feel like this is pretty confined, although that is just as confined, really. If these were the same group, let's say this was a 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 and 5 don't have a difference of 1. So this can't be. Is there a number that this does work with? 3 and 3 is 6. 3 and 5 is 8. 8 and 1 don't go. So I think this has to be a line, I think. Don't know about that one, but if this is 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus or minus 1 is a 3, 5. That would make this a 8, 10. We can't have a 10 because it's max 8, so this is an 8. 4 minus 1 is 3. I think that all comes out valid. Obviously, we haven't integrated this into this system yet, but it works. And I think that's the only way that that can work. From our notes up here, we know that that could be a 4, which would mean then this is an 8 of some description. That would be a 1. This would be a 2. This would have to be a 3 that goes up. That would be a 1. That would be an 8 that goes up. Obviously, this could go this way instead. But that feels reasonably tidy and okay. We used this build method for that. If we chop this down back to this, If this was a 5... Okay, yeah, if this was a 5, this would be a 4. Comes out. This would be a 3. Goes up. We can't put 5 in here otherwise. So, I like the 4. We can probably just undo to, like, here. So, 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. Can I have a light color for this? Thanks. I'm pretty happy with that as a corner of this structure so far. Where do we go? Because that's now used both of the bits of knowledge that we've taken from this. It's where do we go now? Are we happy with the notion that this line must exist? Because if this is... If this is a 1-2, so that this can be a 7-8. A 7-8 would be a 4-5. And a 4-5 would be a 2... 6... 3-7. Now, they could both be 2. But can they both be 2 at the same time? 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 minus 3 is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. So that can all be true. If this was 2, 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 5. 5 minus 2 would have to be 3. So that tells me the top left corner is a 1 and we can't have both lines at once. So this is a 1. And if this is a 1, this is a 7. If this is a 7, 7 minus 3 is 4. Then this can be a 2-6. That 7 has to get out. Can't come down here. Oh, I could come to here, hypothetically. Can't come to there. So 3, 4 at least. This 2 has to get out. It might continue to a 6. Except if it did continue to a 6, it would have to do it straight because it can't take this corner. Because then that would block the 4 in. So that 2-6 can do that. This 4 can't go to there. Could go to here like that. Or it could do some other version of that. But it has to come to at least here. Then where? Then where? Great question. I guess we need to look at this rows of 6, 2, 2, 2, don't we? If this is either from this and this a 7 or a 4, right? This is a 4, 7. 4 plus or minus 2 is 2, 6. 7 plus or minus 2 is 5, 9. We can't have a 9. This must also then be a 2, 6, 5. If this is going to be a 6, 6 and 6 and 6 and 5. 6 and 5 could be a 1. 6 and 2 could be a 3, but nothing else. 5 and 2 could be 3. I wish I had a better system of writing these down that I go, it's either this path or this path, because right now it's just a mess. So if this was the 4, 4 plus or minus 2 is a 2 or a 6. 6 and 6 can't go. Come on, brain, you can do this. I know we're over our traditional brain stops working at 30 minutes mark, but we can do this. If this is 7, 7 minus 2 is 5. It can't be 7 minus 2 for 5 because we can't do 5 plus 6 is 11. So this has to be the 4. 4 plus or minus 2 is 4 plus or minus 2 is 2, 6. Can't be a 6, has to be a 2. 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. That works, I believe. So this 4 has to come out to here. This 7 has to come out to here. That 2 has to come out to there. How big do you have to go to get to 7? It would be that. This 8 can meet up with this 8. I like that a lot. This 6 can't reach that 6. Is there enough here? What's 6 plus 6 plus 8 is 20. There's only 15 here. So you'd have to be the 2. 8 plus 6 is 14. There's 14 here. Great! I'm so happy with that. Like, we got through that, I think, with very little guesswork, really. 3 more to go. Join me next time. We will see about getting those last 3 to gold this window. And then, is it? Oh, we got this whole mechanic over here to do, which was loopy. You cannot be a point where exactly 3 borders meet. Well, that's going to be a hoot, I'm sure. We've done Watchtower. We're over here, currently at Difference. And then once we get through, presumably at least 15 of these, we'll unlock whatever is to come. For now, thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.